You've got it on 2K Sports as we get set to bring you an exciting NBA basketball game. We'll watch the Toronto Raptors in this one as they go up against the Dallas Mavericks. This is Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. David Aldridge is on our sideline. Hey, Dave.
Thanks very much. Well, Commissioner Adam Silver has a history lesson for those who would tell players to shut up and dribble. He says in 1963, Bill Russell was MVP, won a title, and stood on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial for Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech. There is a through line that exists directly from Russell to our modern players. Kevin?
That's a great story, D.A. Thanks. Now, a look at Dallas's starting lineup. The backcourt pair will be Doncic and Dinwiddie. Then there's Reggie Bullock. Then there's Dwight Powell. And it's Finney Smith in at power forward. And for Toronto, Anunoby in at the forward with Barnes next to him. Van Vliet in the backcourt. Trent Jr. to his side. And it's Young in at the center position.
The Raptors are only a few years removed from its championship in 2019. Boy, a lot has changed since then.
Here's Doncic. And there's the drive. And Doncic throws it down.
Big time flush by Doncic. Man, this young fella really has a lot of game.
A lot of change. Toronto is without some of the key pieces from that title team, and it wasn't that long ago. But, Greg, they haven't had to go through a full rebuild. There are some remaining parts.
Listen, the talent they have is still undeniable, and they've got a good mix of young up-and-comers and players in the prime of their careers.
And Scotty Barnes, the Rookie of the Year in 2022 in the NBA.
And you could argue he was maybe the biggest surprise of the 21 draft. Made a huge impact on the floor immediately. If you did a redraft of that class, he'd be closer to the top.
And he makes the first. You know, almost every team has some kind of roster turnover in the offseason, so, Greg, this time of year can be about getting familiar with your new teammates.
There's always a feeling out process this early in the schedule. It's about finding your team's identity, figuring out how all the pieces are going to fit.
That one misses. Clark, when the Mavs traded for Rajon Rondo during the 14-15 season, Dwight Powell was included in that package, and he's still with them.
Yeah, you know, Rondo spent just a half season with the Mavs, and really at that point in time was in the second half of his career, while Powell has been there ever since and is a nice foundational piece. I mean, they love his work ethic, and he's a key part of their rotation, and I don't see that changing.
Here's Barnes. After Luka Doncic's bucket, Barnes passes to Young. And that one is off. Great D that time from Powell. Here's Dallas. Last time they met was in Dallas.
Yeah, it was a narrow win. But at that last meeting, I think foul trouble for the other side may have really just tipped the scale and allowed them to escape with the W.
You know, whether it was their smart play or a few whistles that perhaps could have gone either way, when games are tight, every decision becomes more magnified.
And so it's Trent with it. He brings it up for the Toronto Raptors. It's a three-point game. Barnes against Dinwiddie. Doncic with the steal. Barnes against Dinwiddie. Pass to Finney Smith. Bullock with it. Pass to Dinwiddie. The three. And so the ball out of bounds. Dinwiddie touched it last. Now about 2 minutes gone here in the first quarter. Van Vliet with it. 23 points his last outing. Here's Young. Good, and Van Vliet gets the assist.
And, you know, Young is no stranger to overcoming aggressive defense, guys. That's just an example of his experience coming into play.
And the question for the Mavs is simple. How do you best build around Luka Doncic? They'll try to answer that in the coming years.
Barnes looking around, and Reggie Bullock gets the whistle that time. That is his first foul of the game. A different look for Dallas. JaVale McGee's checked in for Dwight Powell. Christian Wood comes in for Reggie Bullock. Hardaway is subbed in for Dinwiddie. 1:32 left in the first quarter. The pass to Anunoby. Outside Porter. Here's Banton. Good on the triple. And Greg, it just seems for the Mavs it's all about finding the right fit for the role players.
And that's why this team was willing to move on from Porzingis. Going forward, you could see them look a lot like the Harden era Rockets.
The offensive rebound, and McGee kicks to Finney-Smith. Pass to Doncic. 6 on the shot clock. Takes a 3. Dallas no good that time either. Last outing for Toronto, they won that game against Miami. Porter finds Van Vliet. Anunoby with the screen for Van Vliet. 1 up, 1 down. 2 points with his first shot this game.
And unafraid to challenge the heart of this defense. Van Vliet's a strong finisher for his size.
And that outstanding drive and finish brought to you by Mobile One.
It's all about the ability to get 2 feet in the paint, whether it's creating for a teammate or for yourself.
Here's Finney-Smith. He's been quiet so far. Still no points in the game. Here's McGee. That one off the back iron and out.
Well, that's a good player missing from point-blank range. That's one you got to convert.
Van Vliet looking around. The tray. The shot off that time. And that does it for the first quarter. The Raptors out in front, up by 4. We'll be back shortly, live from Toronto. And for those of you just tuning in, the second quarter of action is where we're at right now. And guys, what's your take on Toronto so far?
You got to credit their defense, communicating, rotating, making plays on the ball.
They've got them rattled. It's only the first quarter, and already they've made enough big plays on defense to last really an entire game.
Barnes out there with Kem Birch. Then it's Gary Trent. Then it's Porter. And it's Banton in at the 1. So that's the 5 in the game for Toronto. Back to Birch. Shoots over Dinwiddie. Easy jumper from very short distance. Birch has got the lead up to 6 now for the Raptors.
You got to do more than that to keep the ball out of his hands down low.
Exactly. I mean, deny him the ball in the first place. Don't let him get it.
Here's Wood. He's gotten some minutes, but nothing on the board yet.
And you talk about believing in yourself. And how about Christian Wood?
Greg, self-talk and self-confidence is critically important at this level. And, you know, this guy, Christian Wood, was cut or waived from 4 NBA teams. Wasn't on an NBA roster for an entire season. Finally broke through with Detroit in year 5, and there's no turning back now for the big fella.
Free throw good, Wood. You know, Greg, you played on some gritty teams, and we hear that expression, getting punched in the mouth, and it's not usually literal. But what's that look like on the floor? What's it feel like on the court?
Kevin, you're just out hustling and out muscling the team. At times you'll see it. They kind of checked out mentally. And I'll tell you what, it is one of the best feelings in sport. Well, Christian Wood has shown himself capable of being a 20 and 10 guy. But now he's looking to show he can be a winner as well.
Yeah, I mean, maybe could have tried for a more memorable dunk than that one.
And we know he's capable of those memorable ones.
Hey, they've got a nice, comfortable lead here, fellas. Might as well keep it simple. Do it a plain, simple one-hander, just like pound cake.
And you hear about impacting winning? How does Wood, Greg, take the next step in that regard?
Well, Kevin, we know he can make shots and block shots. I think it's just about consistency and decision-making. And then defensively, I think he's more than capable.
Here's Dinwiddie following the basket by Scotty Barnes. Wood in the post, covered by Birch. Here's Wood. They count on his contributions, currently providing 16.5 points a game. Barnes finds Trent. Here's Hernan Gomez, unable to get that one. And the Mavericks going the other way now. Tough loss coming against the Rockets in the last game they played.
And in terms of intensity, they kind of took the night off. Looked like they were just going through the motions.
Yeah, you know, to me, I agree. They just never looked engaged, which is surprising considering how close the game ended up being.
The latest now from our sideline reporter, David Aldridge. David, it's all yours. Take it away.
Thanks very much. Now, from the step back to his attacking style, some have compared Luka Doncic to the Bear, James Harden. There are some similarities, Harden said. Being able to dictate and control the game like he does, he never lets anyone speed him up, and he gets what he wants. Back to you, Kevin.
He always has. They're both pretty fun to watch. David, thank you. And Clark, don't you have to admire the way the Mavericks are always looking to compete?
Yeah, I like that, Kevin. It's a good point by you. It starts at the top of the organization. I mean, the team has really avoided any kind of lengthy rebuild. To their credit, they want to win, and this team is definitely capable of doing that.
Shooting two.
First free throw is good, so both teams making some changes here. Off on that one, so he goes 1 for 2 at the line. Greg, when you look at Toronto, they have a lot of length and defensive switchability.
They swarm opposing stars and tend to make it very difficult in those passing lanes. So a great profile for a modern NBA defense.
You know, Luka's one of those players where the mid-range shot is really a weapon for him, not just an afterthought. I mean, he is lights out from that distance.
Van Vliet against Doncic. Van Vliet kicks to Boucher. Back to Van Vliet from outside the arc. Offensive rebound. McGee with the block.
Yeah, if you had to pick the top priority for McGee, I think that's it. Contest shots, block shots, get in the air, use that length to deny shots at the rim.
Raptors leading by 6. Trent outside. Pass to Van Vliet. Back to Trent from downtown. JaVale McGee grabs the miss. McGee's got 4 rebounds now tonight. Pass to Doncic. The shot will not fall. Here's Anunoby. And the last shot at the buzzer doesn't go in for him. And so we conclude the first half. Raptors lead by 6. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thanks very much. Here with Nick Nurse. Coach, the efficiency wasn't there in the first half. What adjustments do you need to make?
I thought we got pretty good shots, you know, and if we're not going to score, it makes getting our defense set up difficult. So we got to keep shooting and hopefully start making some of them.
You can't score until you shoot, Coach. Thanks. Back to you.
Thank you, David, for that interview, and we'll see you back here after the break for third quarter basketball.
Welcome to halftime. First things first, a look ahead at other games on the docket tonight. And a change up here for you guys. Which NBA city did you love visiting the most?
Easy for me. California, Dallas, New York, Orlando,
Hey,
Boston.
California's a state there,
Yeah,
big fella.
It's not a city.
Oh, sorry.
It's not a city.
And let's get into this first half where there were some struggles for the Dallas Mavericks.
Their shooting has been bad, like Kenny's wardrobe bad. They need to be smarter offensively, run through the plays until you get good looks.
I'm not even going to touch that one. I'm going to let it go.
Thank you for being with us. Now let's send it to Kevin Harlan for the second half tip.
And if you're just joining us, we've played through the first half in a game that's been fairly even so far. And so Van Vliet will bring it up for the Toronto Raptors. 6-point lead. They've got the Hawks ahead of them in their next game, and it's in Atlanta. That will be a getaway game for them, a one-game road trip. Getting underway in the second half, here's the 5 for Jason Kidd. The backcourt pair will be Doncic and Dinwiddie. Then there's Dwight Powell. Then there's Reggie Bullock. And it's Finney-Smith in at the 4 slot. You talk about a defensive menace. That's Dorian Finney-Smith.
He has a knack for coming up with a big defensive play. Often lines up against the opponent's most important offensive player.
And here's Trent after Luka Doncic hitting the 3. Trent kicks to Van Vliet. Offline with his 3.
Kevin, you can understand the shot selection. I mean, he wanted to go back at him and just came up short on the triple.
Back to Doncic. Kicks it out to Dinwiddie for the tie. Another 3 for Dallas.
Watch out now. When this guy gets into a rhythm, it is something to behold.
And for the Raptors, they're shooting a lackluster 38% for the game, struggling so far. Van Vliet passes to Young. Can't connect from short range.
They have yet to hit a shot, a real slow start here in the second half.
And the pass to Finney-Smith. That doesn't go in. Had a chance, though, to take the lead. Barnes outside. Passes it to Van Vliet. Shoots over Doncic. Doncic with the block.
Yeah, the defensive Doncic looking a lot better. I mean, when he works hard at that end of the floor, he can get up and block some shots, too. Not a lot of them, but he can block a few.
Here's Dinwiddie. Shot clock reset for Dallas. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul. The Mavericks shooting their 3rd and 4th free throw attempts of the game.
First team foul. At the line for the Mavericks, Dwight Powell. 2 shots.
Shooting 2.
He misses the free throw.
During the summer of 2021, the Mavericks had some major changes. Longtime head coach Rick Carlisle left after 13 years in Dallas, and they also got a new GM.
Looking at who's out there now for the Mavericks. Wood, he's checked in for Dorian Finney-Smith, and Tim Hardaway Jr. subbed in for Reggie Bullock. That's off as well, so he misses both. Coaching staff changes aside, Clark. Do front office moves affect players that much?
I think they do, Kevin. It's hard for them not to. Normally we see a flurry of trades or free agent signings. We saw it with the Mavericks trading away Kristaps Porzingis, changing the composition of their squad, going in a different direction. So that'll take some adjusting to.
And now the latest from our reporter, David Aldridge.
Thanks, guys. A busy few years for Nick Nurse. In 2019, he helped lead the Raptors to the title, and he was the 2020 Coach of the Year. He says, it means a lot to me that this city and this country loves this team so much. We can go out there and give them something to be proud of. Of course, Kevin, he's been a key part of that success. Back to you.
Maybe the single most important part of their success, D.A. Thank you so much. Here's Dinwiddie. The Raptors getting the bucket. Pass to Wood. 59 seconds left in the third quarter. Here's Powell. Toronto grabs the miss. And Gomez has got his 5th rebound in this one. Manton, the pass to Porter. Van Vliet with it. There's the pick. Jacks up a 3. Right wing. Manton, the pass to Birch. And he makes good on the layup. And now a 4-point Toronto lead.
Second chance points always hurt. Just not enough effort to block out.
Hey, guys standing around spectating. I mean, you got to get in there and get tough.
Now here's Dinwiddie. He's been putting up the points on a very steady basis, averaging around 17.5 points a game.
Boy, that can trigger mindset. When Hardaway Jr. is firing away like this, you know he's feeling.
Substitution on the court.
There's 14 seconds left in the third quarter of the game. And Van Vliet, here we go. Pass to Boucher. From deep 3-point range, and he was able to put it up in time, but doesn't fall. We're at the end of the third, and we've still got a close one. The Raptors out in front. They lead by 1. And time to step aside quickly, but we'll be back in no time with the start of the fourth quarter. And a quick look now at the State Farm assist of the game.
And he sliced the D wide open with his feet. They had no chance to prevent that basket.
Yeah, that's just a brilliant read of the defense. I mean, it was also excellent anticipation of the movement of his teammates before the pass. Just great harmony on all sides.
And with these teams locked in a very close contest, this fourth quarter promises to be a good one. Sharing the wing spots for them, it'll be Trent Jr. and Anunoby. Then it's Fred Van Vliet. Then there's Chris Boucher. So that's the 5 in the game for Toronto. And foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line. Here's a look at what's coming up for Toronto. On Saturday, they'll be taking on Clint Capella and the Atlanta Hawks. Then on Wednesday, they'll be facing Kyrie Irving and the Brooklyn Nets.
And for their matchup with Cleveland, that's a contest that could easily go either way. Small mistakes could be the difference, and both teams will need to be at their best.
Ties it up, and this next one could give them the lead.
Well, you look at McGee and the career resurgence he's undergone, guys, outstanding. I mean, when he's been in the right situation, he's been very effective.
Young's checked in for Toronto. Barnes comes in for Chris Boucher. Maxi Kleber, he's checked in for Dallas. Now the free throw is good, now leading by 1. Now here's Trent. The pass to Barnes. And here is Van Vliet. Trent outside. Bangs home the trifecta. And the Raptors lead by 2.
And great find by Van Vliet. He's in control of this offense and generally makes good decisions.
Hardaway against Van Vliet. Finney-Smith kicks to Green. Shot clock at 5. Here's McGee. Trying to answer back, but that 3 is off the mark. Passes it to Trent. To the inside. Barnes. That one misses. So the Mavericks will take it the other way. Outside, Green. Outside, Hardaway. Toronto grabs the miss.
He has to make that one. I mean, you have to make the defense pay when they slough off of you like that.
Anunoby finds Trent. McGee with the block. And they'll get another chance. Shoots the 3. Trent can't hit. The Mavericks trailing. Outside Hardaway. Trent against Green. Down low. And Finney-Smith gets it to go. Finney-Smith's got it all tied up now for the Mavs.
Good work from Finney-Smith down low, putting his size and reach to good use.
Van Vliet up top. Headed by Hardaway. Anunoby passes to Barnes. Young, a screen on Kleba. To the middle, stolen by McGee. Hardaway against Van Vliet. And here is Hardaway. Leans from outside. Rebound by the Raptors. Anunoby's got 6 rebounds here tonight. Van Vliet outside. We've got 1:13 left to play here in the fourth. Anunoby, good.
And the native of England, Anunoby doesn't back down from taking the big shots.
Dallas calls timeout. They're trailing by 3. 1:11 left in the fourth quarter. And the Mavericks will go for a different look here. Powell, he's checked in for JaVale McGee. Reggie Bullock comes in for Maxi Kleba. Dinwiddie's checked in for Josh Green. And Doncic is subbed in for Tim Hardaway Jr. Let's check in with our reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, I was able to listen in on what Jason Kidd went over with his team. With this game in the balance, he really came after his guys. He said, this is our time. Right now, be in the moment with each other. Do your job, and I promise you we'll win this game. Back to you.
All right, David, thanks. Here's Doncic. Dinwiddie passes to Doncic. Trent against Dinwiddie. There's the screen. Feeds to Powell. It's in! And that shot brings them to within just 1.
And you can't get a bigger bucket than that.
Well, that was 1-2. He wanted the ball. Nobody else was taking that shot.
And that was another look at the fantastic Mobile One drive that happened a moment ago.
And you talk about a big-time play. He simply would not be denied on that drive.
Now, here is Young. Van Vliet outside. Off the mark there with the three-point shot.
You know, he's just not taking good shots, not taking smart shots, forcing up a lot of low percentage jump there.
And they double up Doncic. Here's Finney-Smith. Laces one from 3.
And they still have a foul to give at this point.
Toronto calls timeout. They're down by 2. There's 14 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Guys, what's your take?
Big chance here to tie it with a bucket.
A critical possession, no doubt. We'll see what they draw up.
Van Vliet outside. Fires from deep. Right between the eyes.
Great poise from Van Vliet there.
Shrugging off the pressure and just taking that shot.
And the Mavericks call time here. They're trailing by 1. Just 2 seconds left in the fourth quarter. What's your take, guys?
And guys, it all comes down to this. One shot to win the game. They have just enough time to run a play that'll lead to a catch and shoot here on the inbound. Maybe one quick pass and then get it up.
And here's Doncic from the arc. Oh, that shot at a chance, but no good. And so the big win by Toronto in a tight game. What a show they put on here at home tonight.
I mean, these are those games that feel so great to win, and really, it's like a knife in the gut to lose. You gotta love being on edge of your seat and just wondering what's gonna happen. How is this thing gonna play out?
And that about wraps it up. For Clark Kellogg, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan along with our terrific 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. So long and good night, everyone.